Hey Mike, Chip, Central Cal. Hope you're well. Hey Cliff, how you doing? So, as the title indicates, I'm going to be raffling off some pipes tonight. Chiefly because I'm trying to we've made a last minute booking to go away for a few days with some of my kids, with mainly my younger kids, and we weren't going away this year for a whole host of reasons. Mainly because when my mum was ill, I wasn't prepared to book anything because I didn't know what the future held, and I wasn't prepared to commit to go away whilst my mum was ill. And obviously she passed whatever it was, like 6 weeks ago, and at that stage it was really quite late to start booking a vacation. All of the stuff that we would have normally taken was pretty much gone, and financially it was not looking so easy to do so we just didn't book anything. But obviously you know how it goes. When you get right up to it, then you just feel like it's not fair for the kids to miss out, although it's a good education for them not to always be spoon-fed everything. But hey Knife Maker and Oscar, Babio, chillax. It's not always good to spoon feed kids everything and to let them know that whatever, that they almost are entitled to on holiday. But you know what? I feel I need a holiday. My wife certainly needs a holiday. It's been a rough few months, and so we booked something last minute on Thursday night, somewhere here in the UK. My wife actually had gone the week before and got my kids passported up with the express service. 3 of the kids didn't have passports, so she got 3 of the kids' passports, but I put the kibosh on that plan. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. It's going to be too expensive. And so we didn't. But we booked a place in the countryside, as per, for the LCS family. It's something which we do pretty much every year, with the odd exception. A couple of years ago, we didn't go at all. But we do try. Anyway, bottom line, we booked a place in the countryside in the Yorkshire Dales for a week. And so basically I decided I'm going to set off some pipes. I'm going to do a cull of my herd, and that will just make life a little bit easier. It'll mean that we can enjoy the holiday a little bit more. So I decided I'm going to do a raffle, because that way it's not too painful, and it just makes it easier and more fun, as long as people are interested, basically. So that was essentially the reason behind it. So if it doesn't work out, if people aren't interested, I won't do it. That's fine. We can anyway have our normal Saturday night chat, which is always good fun. I can certainly show you the pipes that I was going to raffle, in case if there isn't any interest. But first order of business, I guess, is to load up a pipe. So the question is, go for my standard All Golden Sliced or something else. So I've been opening quite a bunch of tins in the last week or two. Yeah, at the moment our weather here is actually really quite bearable. It's actually been raining quite a bit, and the temperature's gone right down. So we've got the All Golden Sliced. I've got so many tins sitting here. I'll show you what my options are. I've got the Somber Mountain Flower. This I'm not opening. I haven't opened it yet, so I'm not going to open it. That's the Latakia Flake. the Davidoff medallions, which have gone into a jar by now. This is not actually a skid though. This is, I've just used this for little screwdriver set type thing. I've got Balkan blue. Balkan Sobrani. Dunhill Navy rolls, the aged ones, which I've put into a jar already. We have the HU My Red Fox. I will say that the first time I smoked it, I wasn't sort of hugely impressed. I know for some people this has been a favourite smoke, but for me it's actually the second time I smoked it was better. Many times when I try a new tobacco, it's not that it's usually the first time, sort of honeymoon period, you get that kind of novelty smoke, and sometimes it really tastes great the first time you smoke. It's the same with a cigar sometimes. Hey Sam. But this was the opposite. The first time I smoked it, I thought it was a very sort of mundane kind of Virginia smoke, with really nothing particular to write home about. But the second time I smoked it, it did actually taste better. There were some more sort of brighter notes in it. There was a little bit more complexity to it. When I smoked it, it was a very sort of rounded, malty kind of Virginia smoke. It wasn't citrusy at all. When I smoked it the second time, there was definitely a little bit more of a higher note in there. Still a malty sort of lower down affair, but there was more to it the second time. And I've jarred most of it up. There is some here in the tin which I've left so it can dry out more, and I'll smoke it as and when. And there's maybe half a dozen bowls here, so I'll smoke that through whilst that's still in the tin. But maybe we'll have that tonight, we'll see. What else? And the usual suspects, I've got some vanilla cream roll cake, and now another full jar. I finished my previous jar. This one is from 2020. Hey Justin. We have some London Fog from April of this year. Some Watch City Cigar Old Dominion. That's a nice vapor. I find that really also needs a little bit. I find that also it's kind of in the lower register of the flavor profile of the flavor wheel. It's really good, but it could do with a little bit of brightness to it, I think. What is this? Watch City Simply Red. I'm not sure why this is on my desk. Hey Jeff. Maybe we should do a meet-up in Yorkshire if whilst I'm out there. It would be nice to meet a few folks. If any of you guys got any suggestions, we could maybe meet up in a pub somewhere or something like that. In a pub garden, a beer garden, and have a smoke. That would be nice. So we have options for tonight. I'm thinking either London Fog or Orly Golden Sliced. I'm not really in the mood for Latakia, although I could go for the Balkan Sobrani again, I guess. Hey Alvin, how you doing? Plus, I've also got to decide which tobaccos I'm taking with me. Obviously, I'm going to take OGS and I'm going to take vanilla roll cake. I might take some Northwoods. I haven't smoked Northwoods in a long time. And possibly some of that Balkan Sobrani. I went downstairs to my humidor to see what cigars I might like to take with me, the Cubans. The non-Cubans I have up here, but I ended up not taking anything. Because I figured that not being at home and relaxed in my room here, over there I'll only be able to smoke in either my car or outdoors. And I don't know what the weather's going to be like, although on Wednesday it's supposed to be decent weather over there, but we will see. So I figured I'm not going to take a Cuban cigar over there. I'll take some New Worlds and possibly get a chance to smoke a cigar. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to do my London calling from there next Saturday night, and we'll be returning on Sunday. But it should be nice. It's going to be a small sort of grouping. I'm not taking my whole family. The older ones are staying behind, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice to just get away for a few days and explore the surroundings. I'm sure that I'll do some videos. I'm sure I will. I always do. I like to sort of do something whilst I'm away on holiday, video-wise, for the channel. It always gets a good response. So I will try to do that, situations and circumstances allowing. What to smoke? You know, I'm gonna go for some regular Orly Golden Sliced. What I'm planning on doing, thank you, Cliff. What I plan on doing is probably I'm gonna order a Cuban cigar online, and I'll have it delivered to the holiday place. That's probably what I'll do, because the Cuban cigars that I've got left are all aged. Nearly all of them are aged, and they really need to be, you know, appreciated and smoked in a more relaxed and considered. I mean, being on holiday is relaxing, but all my regular line sort of Cubans have all been smoked up a long time ago, and whatever I've got left is cigars that I've had for a long time, and they've got age on them. Some of them were aged even when I got them, so you know, I've got some there which are 10-15 years old, some even older than that, and certainly the sealed, not sealed, but the whole boxes, the complete boxes, I'm not going to be smoking just like that. I don't know if I'll ever decide to break into those boxes. You know, maybe eventually I'll just sell them at some point when I need to raise the funds, maybe before a wedding or something like that for one of my kids. Hey Mad Piper, Troy, how you doing? Hi Gary. No, I didn't. I sold. Did I sell 10% of them? Yeah, I sold about maybe 15% of them. I sold about 10 or 12 pipes so far. There are some phenomenal pipes still left behind, but whatever sells. You know, it's not. I would like to sell more, but I know it's not easy these days. And I must be honest, the tobacco consignment that I had, there's still a bit left to that as well, but that went a lot better. I feel that collectors are buying tobacco up much quicker than they're buying up pipes. And I guess obviously pipes are more expensive, tobaccos, even though, I mean, value for money. Yes, Gary, absolutely. Though I did say that in the video that they will all be cleaned. I sent out whatever was sold. I sent out at the end of last week, or the end of this week rather, and Thursday I think they all went, and they were all cleaned, all buffed. So besides for whatever your normal process is for getting an estate pipe ready to smoke, then you'll still need to do that. But what I've done is polished them all and made them look pretty. Beyond that, you know, I've obviously put a pipe cleaner through it and so on, but I haven't done a professional internal clean. That's down to you. I mean, Giri, if you want, I can certainly give them a good alcohol clean and stuff like that. No problem, I can do that for you. I keep having to remind myself to do a gravity fill. I always get a better smoke when I do that. So just putting it in and then tapping the side of the bowl and letting the tobacco just drop down and settle. And right at the end, just to give it a little bit of a sort of a tap with your finger just to get it all in. But when you tap it on the side, it also helps for the tobacco to kind of smush together. Smush is a word, look it up. And but it means that there's plenty of air in there, plenty of oxygen, and it should mean that your pipe stays alight. Hey Jeremy. So I'm going to get my little notebook ready. Try and keep this as organised as possible. This is my little pen I got for the last time I renewed my membership of the Pipe Club of London, and it's got a little, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but the Pipe Club of London. Isn't that cute? So, is there any interest in doing a raffle? Anyone interested? If there is, I'll go through the pipes that I've got available and take a vote of hands on which ones you want to go for. Hey Josh. That's you, Josh. All ready to go. All paid for. With a couple of little bits thrown in. Okay, so let me just quickly run through a few of the pipes. And if it gets really popular, then I've got some backup ones to add if anybody's really in the mood. So the first batch that I've set aside are all LCS pipes. All good pipes, all good smokers, just ones that don't get smoked very much. So first up is this beautiful Canadian with an eldritch amber flame stem. There's a bit of what is that wood called now? Zebrano, I think it is. Zebrano band and an acrylic band as well in there. Let me get some more lighting on here. Actually, let me move the camera so that I can see what's going on. I think raffle's the fairest. Everybody gets an equal chance, and it's the lowest entry. You know, it's the dollar amount is going to be the lowest. I think auction will just put too many people out of the offing. Okay, so this is the Canadian. It hasn't got any stamping on it, but when it gets raffled, I'll stamp it up in front of your eyes. So that's the Canadian. This is hey Mark. This is a little freehand with some very nice grain on it. With a plateau with a chunk bitten out of it, which I've curved over the top there, which looks really cool. There's a hand cut ebonite terracotta stem, which is very good. And this was my one and only attempt, although it's got some really nice sort of grain in the ebonite. It was my attempt at doing a bit of splicing. So it's not perfect, but it smokes well as a pipe. Then this one, I think this is probably the highlight of the bunch. This is the Skipper. So this is a 4-star. It's got absolutely gorgeous grain. Got double silver band. A little bit of plateau on the side. But the grain is just phenomenal. And we've got again another flamey, translucent kind of stem. So far all the ones I've showed have been smoked. This one, very lightly smoked. It's in mint condition, really is. I made that pipe after I went to Rome. It was about 6 months ago now, and I saw the Skipper pipe in the Fincato tobacconist, the pipe shop. Yeah, Jeff. And I was kind of considering buying a Skipper, but number one, it was too expensive, and number two, it wasn't 9mm. It did have a very wide tenon, which I could have drilled, but I decided to make one, and it's beautiful. It smokes well. It's got a good taste. I just don't seem to smoke it very much, so I figured I'll use it to try and make some money for the holiday. As I say, it's a 4-star. The lighting in here is really not great. Let me see if I can add some. There we go. As you can see, the grain is just astounding. Really fantastic grain. The double silver band, as I said. So it's going to be raffled, Jeff. Welcome aboard. Good to see you again. Next up is this little fella, like a tankard. I made this quite a while ago. It doesn't get smoked that much. Reminiscent a little bit of a Castello sort of style with some of their pipes. It's got really nice thick walls. It's got a nice plateau. And I used to use this for aromatics, but just doesn't get smoked very much. Nice clean pipe. So that's an option. Some of these will literally, the entry point will be like $5 or something like that. Cheap and cheerful, cheap as chips. This is a pipe I've smoked. This was a shop pipe. Just a nice rusticated, I don't know what you'd call the shape, an apple or a bowl or a padrone. Nice. A stamper. As I say, some of these will be very easy entry points. You know, it's crazy not to take a stab, and you know, you may win a pipe for $5 or £5, I should say. Either way, it's still cheap. This pipe, I don't think you guys will have seen. This is a Nording. It's an unsmoked Nording. This one is a non-filtered pipe. Got a sterling silver band. It says Nording on it, 925. Nording, Denmark. Nice sort of Xerox style rustication. Very, very nice. As I say, it's unsmoked and also non-filtered. Full bent pipe. It's a bit reminiscent of one of the Peterson shapes, actually. Yeah, it's pretty traditional for an Nording, you're right. But it's a nice lightweight pipe. I also have available one from my own collection, which is, again, I put it up with reservation because it's always been I've always been proud of this pipe, but I just don't smoke it really. And that's this Savinelli autograph with one of the best green grain that I've had on a pipe ever. One of the best. It's kind of on a par with the Parker that I bought recently. This is an autograph, Savinelli autograph. Just an amazing ring grain on this pipe. So that one's up for grabs. I have a Stanwell. This one is a 9mm as well. But again, also a nice sandblast. It's a Stanwell with silver on the top and a silver band there. It's a year pipe. I don't know the year it's rubbed off. Actually, it says Huber on it, not Stanwell. I'll take that back. It says Huber Nobleman. But I'm fairly confident it was made by Stanwell. But also, again, nice sandblast. But a very classy looking pipe, and it's 9mm. No, we're doing it here live tonight, chillax. We're going to choose the pipe to go first, and whoever wants in will say they're in, and they send me a payment of whatever the entry amount is, depending on the pipe. Might be £5, £10, £15, and we'll put a maximum number of entries. So as soon as we hit that number, so let's say I say that it's going to be open to 20 people, the first 20 people to say they're in and send me their entry amount, whatever that amount is, then we do the draw live straight away here, and that person wins the pipe. I've done these in the past, and they've gone really, really well, but I haven't done one for a long time, and I figure it'd be a nice way to do it, and for me it will certainly be a benefit, so that I can raise a little bit of pocket money for my vacation next week. Yeah, whoever wins pays shipping. Not everybody, obviously. The winner pays shipping. So if you're in the UK, it's my standard shipping, which I charge whether on the website or whether it's on a video sale, whatever it is. It's £7.50 here in the UK, £18 international. It used to be £15, but it's gone up a few pounds simply because the costs have gone up. Also, my costs in terms of the packaging, the boxes, I have them custom made. They're custom ordered. They cost me a couple of pounds each. So it's just to cover my costs. It's these white boxes, which you all have seen already. They've become very well known on the YTPC, these boxes. But they're custom made. They're made to order, and they're not cheap. So, and the reason why they're custom made is because they're very robust. So it protects the pipe. I can buy online on Amazon. I can buy no shortage of boxes to buy on Amazon, and they'll be cheaper. But they just won't stand up to what these boxes will stand up to. So there's a cost in that. Why would you want to pay shipping? Because you're paying essentially the raffle amounts. The amount of people that get into the raffle it's going to be approaching the value of the pipe, right? So it might be a bit more. That's the incentive for me, obviously. So you're paying, say, £5 to enter into a raffle. So it'll cost you a grand total of £23 if you win the pipe. But you would only pay it if you win. If you don't win, you don't pay the shipping, obviously. Only the winner pays the shipping. Alright, so which pipe do you want to start on, guys? You want to start low and easy, or go straight in for the skipper, which would be probably the highest one? You can buy as many entries as you want until the maximum number is reached. So I'll announce in advance what the maximum number is going to be, and once that's reached, then it stops. So you can buy 5 entries, 10 entries, 2 entries. That's happened very commonly with these raffles that I've done. So the bent apple, this one here, this thing here you're talking about. Okay, so this one is just £4. And we want how many entries? We want, let's say, hang on. Okay, so this one is £4, and we want 20 entries. So it means £80, but a possibility of you getting it for £4. £4 and the shipping, obviously whoever wins it pays the £18. So anybody that wants to be in, just say that you're in, and then the payment you need to send to lcsprize@gmail.com. This is also going to be available as well, which is a nice black stacked billiard. We'll do that one as well. So Jeff is in there. So this is pipe number 1, and that's the purple rifle. Okay, so entry number 1 is WV with 10 entries. So we've got another 10 to go. Mark is number 2, Welshie with 2 entries. We have 8 more to go. Any more offers? Don't send any money yet until we've got to 20. Please don't send the money, because if it doesn't get to 20, I've got to send it back to you, so I'd rather we don't do that. Any more entries? We're looking for 8 more entries at £4 per entry. Oscar, don't send in the money. Okay, you've sent it. Please don't send. Yeah, you did. You got ahead of yourself. Okay, no worries. Don't worry about it. Oscar, Flores, 3. 5 more, guys. 5 more entries. Jeff wants the rest. Okay, so 15. Okay, so we're stopping that one there. So Jeff and Welshie, if you can send in. Mark, you got to send in £8. And Jeff, £60. Thank you very much, Jeff. You're getting us off the road, up and running. Okay, so Jeff's going to be 1 to 15, Mark's going to be 16 to 17, and Oscar's going to be 18 to 20. Yeah, exactly. So far I've got Oscar's money. Guys, don't write anything in the comments, please. Otherwise I'm going to get trouble. Just send the money, I'll know it's you. Hey, Bull Moose. Alright, Mark's money in. Just you, Jeff, now. Yeah, got it. Okay, thank you very much. So, we now need a randomizer. I should have one. I used to have one. Hang on, I'll have to install one. Try to have a think about which part you want up next. Hey Stevie. Thank you, Josh. Alright, so we have... This raffle is done, Daniel, but you certainly have a chance on the next one. Maybe somebody will even get you an entry if you're lucky. We have 1 to 20. And here we go. On your marks. Good luck, everybody. Randomize. 19 is Oscar Flores. Congratulations, Oscar. Canadian, are we all up for that? Are we all up for the Canadian? Okay, so I'm going to do this one. It's a gorgeous pipe. Beautiful amber flame stem. Very, very clean. Hardly smoked. But it is broken in and it does smoke well. There's no bitter taste or anything like that. Got a Zebrano band there. And this one is it's an Eldritch stem, yeah. This one is £11 entry. But I want just 15 entries. So £11, 15 entries. So if you want, you can just buy the pipe, take 15 entries, and that's it. Okay, don't send the money yet, please. So number 2, amber Canadian. Jeremy Viz. Three entries. Anybody else? Number 2 is Oscar Flores with 2 entries. Who's next? We want another 10 entries. £11 each. And I'm just going to put in £4 so we remember. £11. Hey Eno, how you doing? Anybody else want to try for this pipe? Right, so that one is sold. It's definitely worth a punt for one entry, that's for sure. For £11, it's silly not to, really. It is 9mm too. Tampa. Thank you. One entry. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take this down from 15 to 12. So we just need to get to 12 entries. Get 12 entries, I'll do it. Which means we just need 7. Josh. You were pretty quick off the mark, Josh. It's like you had that ready to go. I did run through the pipes at the beginning of the video, Bull Moose. You can rewind back and have a look. Hey, Steve and Kathy. Alright, so if this doesn't work out, we'll take a different pipe. Maybe we'll come back to this one. So, last call for this one. It's £11 entry. I just want 12 entries. We have 5 entries so far. Anybody else? 9mm Canadian with the Eldritch Amber Flame stem and cut with a Zebrano band. So the payment is via PayPal, but only if we go ahead. So I will tell you when to send payment. If there's not enough entries, then there's no point in you sending any money. So I don't want you to send money and then just I have to send it back. It makes it very complicated. So for now, I just want people to say if they're in or not. And then when we get to 12 entries, we'll say send in the money and then we'll do the draw. So I'm going to set this one aside for now. Should we go for the skipper? Is there interest in the skipper? It's going to be more expensive, but It's a great pipe. This is the skipper. It's a 4-star pipe, double silver band. A bit of plateau on the side, just gorgeous grain throughout this pipe. I don't have an author right now, Daniel. So this one is in mint condition, hardly smoked. So for this one, is there an interest? So on this one, if there's an interest, let's see. All right, so 20 entries, £12 each. 20 entries, £12 each. It's a 4-star LCS Briars pipe. Just exceptional grain throughout the pipe. The silver bands are glinting as if to say, "Take me, take me." All right, so if you're interested.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Shush. Alexa's getting in on it. Alright, I'm going to leave that one open for now in case we come back to it. So number 3 is the skipper, and number 1 is Welshie, and he wants 4, and that is £12 each. Alexia, well, we'll see what she wants when we get near the end, see what she can offer us. Any takers for the skipper? Two for Oscar. It's a shame, we just don't have enough guys on. Perhaps I should have given more advance warning, but I only just came up with it tonight. And going away tomorrow, so I just thought I'd do a very quick one. But if it's not to be, it's not to be. No worries. 37 in the chat at the moment. If it doesn't work out, maybe I'll take them with me and do a raffle whilst I'm away on vacation. I'll take the pipes with me. Okay, so I'm gonna call it, and if anybody else decides they wanna, you can always pop into the chat. But I think I will revert back to a regular London calling. Thank you very much for those who bidded so far. And the other pipes that we were going to do was this Huber silver banded bent billiard, another LCS like a tankard, Savinelli autograph, and this LCS freehand, and this one here. Those are going to be the ones for today. If you want, if it makes more sense, I don't mind just offering up the cheapy ones, so guys might feel a little bit more willing to just take a punt for a few dollars, a few pounds. Okay, let's start with this one then. £6 entry, 17 entries. Very, very lightweight. Stacked billiard. Craggy rustication. Anyone? £6, 17 entries. We'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, then we'll call it. And we'll just go back to doing London calling. £6, 17 entries. £6, 17 entries we're looking for. Ash, how you doing? Ash Clark, 2 entries. Any more? We're looking for 17 entries. 10 grand for a funeral, wow. That's a lot of money. I've got this stupid star on the way, so I can't read the full text of Daniel's message. Pain in the neck. Having puppies in Antarctica. I'm sure we can think of some kind of woke cause to raise money for. Hello, Pipers. No, that wasn't a very good mustachioed impression, was it? Well, hello. Hello. No. Unicorns, yeah. No bidders for that, except for Ash, so we will leave that. We'll leave well alone. Right, let's go back to normal London calling position. Well, tonight I'm smoking my rosebud with some Orlik golden sliced. No worries, Mark. I'm not going to waste you guys' time. If it's not happening, it's not happening. No pressure whatsoever. Black Twist. Emerson Southern Forged. Welcome aboard. Let's turn off this light. What's this one? Oh, right, that's an Nording. Some bear in a Stanwell. I did have some other sort of backup pipes in case it really went well, so I was going to throw in a few more. So we had this Punto de Oro Stanwell, Savinelli. It's got a nice sandblast. We're going to add that one in. Very clean pipe. Gorgeous pipe of the year from Stanwell. This one is not filtered. This is 2009. Pipes of old, how you doing? Hans Christian Andersen, Stanwell. That was going to go in. And I was contemplating, but I hadn't decided, putting in a brand new Northern Briars Bulldog. Rocks cut with a smooth rim. Classic British Bulldog. Brand new, unsmoked. With a Northern Briars leather sock. But not to be, I guess. GQ Tobaccos usually has a good selection. It's just a question of whether he has the ones that you want. I mean, the popular ones usually sell very quickly, but he has got a reasonable collection. He always does, of Northern Briars pipes. He's got a reasonable collection of LCS Briars pipes at the moment. There's 4 pipes on there. I think he's got another 4 to load up, which he hasn't put on yet, which he bought recently. Just going to have a look and see if he's done that. No, don't think so. So the next thing for me is I've got to decide, like I said, which tobaccos I'm going to take with me. So Orley Golden Slice is a given. I think vanilla cream, vanilla roll cakes is a given. Probably London Fog as well. And maybe some of the stuff that I've cracked open recently. So I might take my red fox. I might take some of that. Like I said earlier on, the second smoke really tasted a lot better than the first smoke. Got a little bit more complexity, a little bit more interest in there. It tasted a little bit better. In fact, I'm going to fire some up now, maybe. Hey, Andrew. So this is the tin of my red fox that Welshie sent me. So like I said, the first time I tried it, it was very nice. A very easy smoke, very smooth, but not much complexity to it for me. But I smoked it again, and it was definitely better, and I was getting a bit more citrusy notes. Because in reality, the DNA of the blend, from what I got out of it straight away, was a very smooth, very rounded, very malty, sort of lower register flavors. But on the second smoke, I definitely got a little bit more higher notes. And it could be that this one, you know, mixed with a little bit of Orley Golden Slice, might be a very nicely balanced tobacco. I often will try anything with Orley Golden Slice to see how it goes. Most times it doesn't work. Obviously, we know that London Fog works. Good night, Bullmoose. It's a very thin sort of ribbon cut, this. Not my preferred cut. But it doesn't really matter ultimately if it smokes well, if it's got good flavors. It doesn't really matter, does it? Even the aroma is very rounded. It's very smooth, very creamy kind of aroma, very malty, sort of deep kind of aroma. There really isn't much in the way of high notes, citrusy notes. You can see some sort of evidence of broken flakes. There is some sort of layered bits of strands of tobacco, presumably cut from a cake originally before it was rubbed out. So I don't know if you'd call this a ready rubbed or a ribbon, but it's like that kind of thing. The pipes from the consignment are downstairs. I can't get them now. They're all packed away, and I'm not going to be taking those out at the moment, I'm afraid. And to be honest, those aren't my pipes. Although I get a percentage from it, I was trying to raise some funds for my vacation, so that's why I didn't use any of those pipes. So whatever I make from these sales goes to me, 100% of it. not going abroad, no. I can't afford that. No, just going to we're going to the Yorkshire Dales for a week. I'm taking some of the kids. Just a short week, 1 week, and just to get a little bit of a break. So I was just basically, I thought I'd raise a little bit of pocket money kind of thing to ease the, you know, the financial holiday spend. I picked up this pipe from the consignment. This is a Winslow, one of the higher grade Winslows. It had a fault inside the bowl, so I couldn't. Actually, I shouldn't have said the name, should I? Never mind. It's only to you guys. Very, very nice green. And beautiful grain. Look at that straight grain there. Nice bird's eye on the rim. And with these Winslows, you get these unique sort of bands. He makes these up himself. He pours them with different colours and different sort of bits of acrylic that he finds. He sort of cuts up and puts them in there and makes rods out of it. And it's very cool because it's a very unique thing, and he makes them really colourful. But anyway, this I had to completely reshape the bowl to fix it, and I made a deal with the consignor that I could keep this pipe in lieu of some of the repair works that I'm doing to some of the pipes. So I'm a little bit sort of nervous about how it's going to smoke, to be honest. But so I don't know if you can see that sort of dent in the back of the bowl there. Can you see that, where it goes in? That was a lot worse. I've rounded out the bowl so that it it has a bit more of a uniform shape, but it was pretty bad. I mean, it had a very thick bowl coating on it, kind of to disguise that. And you can see there, that divot there right at the bottom, and that's above the draft hole. It's not part of the draft hole. I might even carve it out a little bit more, but I'm just nervous because I want it to smoke well. It's a beautiful pipe. But the bowl itself smells really clean. And originally I thought maybe it hadn't been smoked, but I think it had been. I don't know if this was a fault. I'm hoping it's not. It wasn't a fault. It was just maybe heavily smoked by whoever had it previously. I don't know. But as I say, I've taken it back to the briar. There's still a little bit of a black colour on the walls. I might still sand it more and see how we go. But I don't want to obviously risk misshaping the rim or scratching the rim or anything like that. There's lovely grain on it. Look at the bird's eye there, just really, really gorgeous. Look at that grain. Got the bird's eye on the base. Daniel, I don't think you have to be a carver to see what other pipe makers are doing. When you have a pipe, you just have to have a look and see, and you can tell, you can see how well a pipe is drilled. You can see the diameter, if it's really narrow or if it's nice and wide and open. I mean, the draft hole on this one is also very well. I'll be generous if I say it's extremely unorthodox. Can't really see it, but sometimes they smoke just perfectly well, even if they're badly smoked. I mean, I've got some sort of shot pipes of my own which didn't work out right, and I didn't want to sell them. Maybe they've come out really high in the bowl, or maybe they're really badly off center. I personally don't have an issue with it being slightly off center, but if it's really badly off center, obviously I'm not going to sell it. And they've smoked beautifully. You know, some of my best smokers. I've got a Bentley by Former pipe. This is a very good Virginia smoker. Beautiful grain on it as well. Beautiful, very tight bird's eye. I bought this as an estate pipe, and it's drilled quite high, and it was also a very, very narrow draft hole, so I re-drilled it, and it smokes brilliantly. Really great smoker. You know, so if you get a pipe which the drilling is a bit off, it's not always the end of the world. You know, the purists out there who are going to spend $1,000 on a pipe, yeah, fair enough, they can expect absolute perfection. Can you tell what type of briar is used? No, I don't believe anybody can. You know, I've heard sort of the best pipe makers in the world say the same thing, you know, that briar is just a complete potluck, or as you say in America, a crapshoot. Every single block. And it was well known that Sixton Everson said as well that he's made pipes from one block. You know, he used to he would make 3 or 4 pipes out of one block, because his sort of growth in the trade was after the war and during the war, the Second World War, and they had to make the most use they could out of each block. And I've seen drawings of his where he was drawing 4 pipes out of a block, and that's why, where, you know, the thing to use bamboo in shanks and to use horn in shanks and things like that, that came about as a result of shortages of briar. The late hour series with Chariton, for instance. The late hour series from Chariton was a Chariton pipe which was a perfect bowl. We had good grain, but for whatever reason the shank was rubbish. So Dunhill would just discard that block, but Chariton wouldn't, and Chariton would cut it off and add a shank extension, which was they had it was like a creamy white kind of shank extension. I don't know if it was ivory originally or not. Maybe, I don't know what material it was. It might have been something like that. And you know, with age they turn more of a deeper creamy kind of color. But that late hour series saved them a huge amount of blocks which had fantastic grain, but just the shanks weren't great. So I've heard from said, you know, in the name of Sixton Everson, that he's made several pipes out of the same block, and each pipe will smoke differently. So, you know, you could talk about one part of the root ball, the briar root ball, sort of facing the sea or facing the rocks or whatever, and had a more torrent sort of life than the other half of the root ball. Maybe, I don't know if that's a real thing or not. But the reality is that it's a crapshoot. You just don't know. I haven't smoked this pipe in yonks. This pipe, actually, I've always enjoyed. I just don't smoke it that often because it's so big, but it always smokes very smoothly, and I think the bamboo definitely lends something to it. Big ball on this pipe. Yonkers. Another beautiful pipe, really nice piece of briar, lovely grain. So the My Red Fox by HU Tobaccos, courtesy of Mark Welsh Piper. Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, the density, Steve, or Kathy, if that's Kathy, the density of a particular piece of wood that you're using could be different in one part compared to the other, for sure, which is going to affect the sound. I do faux spigots, and that's mainly because I do 9mm pipes. So 9mm pipes don't really lend themselves to army mounts. You can do it, but there'd be a really wide army mount, which just won't look like an army mount. I mean, it will, but it won't really. It kind of loses a little bit if you're going to make a huge fat stem poking into a shank. You can do it. I mean, Peterson does it. The way they do it, I think, is that they have the army mount going straight in, and they just drill the army mount rather than putting a tenon on. They just drill it so this filter goes straight into the stem. So with a straight pipe, I think that would work okay. With a bent pipe, that would be harder, because you have to drill the stem quite deep to accommodate the filter. I mean, I guess you could have some of it go in the mortise. You could drill the mortise a bit deeper. Depends on the pipe. So the short answer is it can be done, but it doesn't quite lend itself when you're doing 9mm pipes. Yeah, I mean, as I say, it can be done. Yeah, Peterson do it. I think I've had a Peterson 9mm army mount. Yeah, Andrew, I remember when they came out, those dual flames. They call it the rabbit ears. They should call it the Playboy lighter, really. But the interesting thing is, I have not seen the rip-off versions. So you know the DuPont Chinese versions. If they'd make those with a dual flame, I'm sure those would sell really well. really, really velvety smooth, the draw on this. I've found that with the few bamboo pipes that I've had, that for some reason it does make the draw feel a lot smoother. I don't know if it's because it removes some of that moisture so you don't feel that turbulence, which although it doesn't necessarily gurgle, but it could just make it feel less smooth. And then you have a bamboo and it just smooths it out. I don't know, because my bamboo pipes that I make, I don't put the steel rod all the way through. Some pipe makers put the rod all the way through, so you're actually not smoking the bamboo, which kind of defeats the purpose, and it's really just cosmetic. But what I do is I just put a rod in to connect it, to strengthen the connection there and there. But you're actually going through the bamboo when you smoke. The idea of the spigot or army mount, the reason why it's called army mount in fact, is because in the First World War, mainly, people used to, a lot of people smoked pipes. It might have even been the Second World War, but it was certainly one of the wars. People used to put their pipe in their pocket or even in their belt, and then they would maybe have to dive for cover or fall off their horse or whatever it might be, get into some kind of scrape, and then they'd look in their pocket and find that their pipe was broken. So the army mount was basically, there was no tenon, and that came about because people would simply just ram the stem straight into the shank and smoke it that way. And essentially, as I understand it, that's how the idea was born, and it was just sort of perfected. And then, you know, if it would break again, they would just cut it off and push it in again. I guess they'd have to enlarge the hole in the shank for that, the mortise, each time. But essentially, the idea was born during the war. That's what I've read anyway. Because a lot of times when you've got an army mount, because it's the way it fits in is because it's tapered, so you don't actually have a lot of the stem. It depends how it's made, you know. Some might make the taper very long, so quite a bit of the stem goes into the mortise, but most times you actually have the stem going into the mortise. Quite a small amount of stem goes into the mortise. So if, say, they were in the army and they had to fall to the floor or on their horse or whatever, and they came into a scrape, then the stem would just fall out rather than snap. It would just come off and come out rather than snap. Yeah, exactly. And one of the advantages is that you could pull them apart without worrying about cracking them, because you don't worry about it expanding and contracting because it's tapered, so you just wedge it in. There's the one I bought. The Ping. It's even got some gas in. I haven't used it in yonks. But the gold plating finally started thinning in certain places. I mean, it still looks pretty good. And I've got to say, it works very, very well. I've had some people say that they bought them and they've stopped working quite quickly. But I have to say that this one, not wishing to tempt fate or anything, it works well. And they've got the weight right as well. It's very solid, got a nice heft to it. really? I haven't noticed that. So what was the highlight for you, Andrew, in the Iwan Reese shop? Am I right in thinking that they've got some kind of museum up there? This was the largest diameter piece of bamboo that I've ever had to date. I've had some wide pieces and I've managed to make some 9mm pipes, but this is definitely the widest one that I've had. I wish I could get some more. It's a beautiful piece of bamboo and really done it justice with a nice sort of house-sized pipe. I don't know if there is a museum there, but as you said, they've got old stuff everywhere. A lot of these shops do, they have them on display all over the place, but I can't remember if there is a museum there or not. Would I use bamboo and mortar together? Good question. I don't know how well they would bond together, to be honest. A mortar is a very, unless you had a very dense piece, maybe. But I mean, for cosmetic reasons, it might look really nice. But for absorbency reasons, there really wouldn't be a need because the mortar itself is extremely absorbent. That's interesting, Andrew. Because whenever I see pictures of the pipe shows, they seem to have the biggest amount of stock on their stand. Hey, Patrick. I think my commission book is up to date now. Yeah, so that last one is actually done. I've got to tick that one off. That was the large rosebud. So my book is up to date. Just in case any of you want to commission a pipe. I think that's it for me for now. I'm pretty much done. Not much else really to chat about, other than to say that I'll probably be seeing you next from the Yorkshire Dales. I'll try to do some videos out there. Hopefully we'll see some interesting stuff. Certainly the English countryside is always interesting, and I'm sure we'll do some clips of that. I'm not considering moving back to the garage as of now. Although I'm completely I'm sort of buried with the stuff that's in this room. There's literally isn't room to swing a cat. But still, it's indoors. 18 if you're in the States, Oscar. Please. Just don't write anything on the PayPal payment. Email me your address. I should have it, but just best to just email me your address. lcsbryce@gmail.com. Just drop me an email. But no, I'm not really considering it at this moment in time. The only way that I would probably move back is if I somehow came into a load of money that I could do the place up properly, put a new roof on it, and insulate it, and just renovate it generally. Yeah, it's 18, Oscar. Okay, you sent me 15. That's fine. It'll be okay. You can leave it like that. All right, so I'm going to say my thank yous. Thank you, Mark Welsh Piper. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Mad Piper. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Stamper Tamper. Thank you, Jeremy Viz. Thank you, Stephen Cathy. Chillax. Justin Freezer. Bullmoose. Pipes of Old, and everybody else. Thanks very much for joining, and hopefully, thank you, Andrew. I'll be seeing you next from the Yorkshire Dales. Catch you on the next one.